there, folks.
Hi there.
It's the final episode of my top 100 games of all time,
That's so exciting.
and sad at the same time. There will
Well,
be
I
no
don't know if
more.
it's sad. Well, I mean, you could always do it again next week.
So let's talk about the same games, but now I'm gonna reorder them.
That's a
I'll
good
go
idea.
from 1 to 100. Okay.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It's a good use of everyone's time.
Yeah, it's gonna get less and less exciting with each game. Um. So yeah. Here we are again with the top 100 games of all time. 25, only 25 left, and these are my favorite 25. I think so. Yeah. I mean,
Well, I hope. I mean, are you unsure?
the AI basically generated it for me.
Oh, I see. All right. And you didn't even look.
Uh, Now I looked basically when I
Uh,
finished with StreamYard. I looked at it and it's interesting. I was kind of surprised with some of them, but not really.
all right.
When I thought about it was like, okay, yeah, I understand why such and such game right now is higher or the other one is
Sure.
lower. It just sometimes you get tired, sometimes you get back to those games and they are great again. Let's make the games great again. GGG.
Let's try it.
Um,
All right. Well, I'm excited to hear all these.
Let me see. So let's go to this screen over here. Without further ado,
Who's that?
number that's Kanate.
Okay.
I hope so. I don't know if it says Advent of the Kanate.
All right.
They are. Anyway, we're not talking about the this game. We're going to talk about another game that number 25 features. I think was it dwarves or something. I think it's dwarves. It's a little bit generic fantasy. There's not much theme to it. It's more about coins. And what coins do you think we're talking about? Number 25, Nidavellir coins.
Very well. Those are coins, yes, indeed.
So yeah, as I said, the whole premise of the game is to basically use your coins as a bidding. You have, your initial coins, including the 0 1, of which you'll be able to switch, and then you're trying to get the bigger and bigger coins from the market, and basically you'll have more power during bidding that way. But what else you're doing? You're drafting all the cards, and they have different scoring mechanisms. Let's say they're quite similar to each other, but somewhat different. And as you draft those cards, you're trying to get the most of that. It's extremely simple. When I think about it, when I talk about it, this card scores like that. This color scores like that. But eventually, as you get a set of different cards, different colors of cards, you'll be able to also get a special scoring card from another market of cards, which is really cool. And some of them are also like less points but cooler ability, or like straight points, or like with I don't remember the brothers, what they are. If you collect all of the brothers, you get 1,000 points or something like that. Yeah,
It's not 1,000, but it's a lot.
yeah. Yeah, but the whole idea is to just put the coins down, try to outsmart your opponents, see what they want, what they don't want, where you wanna. There are like 3 taverns where you wanna bid, where you don't care if you're going last or first to pick the card, whatever. So yeah, it's just such a simple game that works with many people. That there might be, because it's all iconography, and sometimes sometimes you want text on the cards. For the reason that if you have, and even if you add expansion, there's even more of those special cards, the special scoring cards, and now you have to explain people what does this one do and that one do. Some of the cards are more complex in its description, and yeah, but I for example, with some cards, I left them out for the first game with players who are really non-gamers. So I'm like, okay, let's not include these extra scoring cards. let's just include these and play the game, try to understand the game first.
Hmm.
And they had a great time. And I like the tie breaking and then switching to gems, etc. It's always like balancing itself. Yeah, Nidavellir is no, just an easygoing, light coin building and set collection game, basically.
Very well. Yep, I like this one quite a lot. I like it with its expansions. It works well with all the player counts. This one was a surprise for me and a big success.
Yeah. One cool part about that is that with more players, you'll have basically less cards in your tableau eventually. With less players, you have many more cards. So you have to be more precise with more players, and maybe you'll be able to focus more with two
Hmm.
players on something particular. Yeah. All right.
All right.
That's Nidavellir, number
It
25.
is.
Number 24, another lighter game that uh, entered my world of gaming through, I think, you.
Uh-oh.
I think I asked for it. I got
Hmm.
what I asked for. And so I bought a copy myself. And I was eventually was like, I should have bought both editions of that game. Number 24,
Ah.
Horrified. So Horrified, and I played American Monsters with you,
Hmm.
and then I was like, okay, I played American Monsters. Let's go with the classic, um, classical, what they are. Uh,
Monsters.
yeah, they're called something, the universe or something. I don't
Okay.
know. Anyway, it's called something, but Universal Monsters, I think, or something like, I don't know. Anyway, there's Dracula, there's Frankenstein, there's the Mummy, the Wolfman, etc.
Hmm.
And the game itself is extremely simple. It's yet another kind of like a set collection game. So you go around, collect the items. They have different colors and strength. Sometimes it matters, sometimes not. Depending on the color and strength. And then you also have those baddies, and you can throw in 2 or 3 or even 4 of them, depending on the difficulty you want to do. And they have those simple puzzles of you have to, you know, manage, or you have to give away items of certain type to do something about that monster, like a small mini game. They're really small, really easy. And
Hmm.
eventually you will be able to finish that mini game with a monster, and then you'll be able to defeat that monster with the same items. Like, for example, okay, so now you need combination of the yellow, red, and blue item in order to defeat it in its spot. And the game is extremely simple. You have a you have different actions you can do, but basically you can move around, you can pick up items, you can pick the villagers up, because the villagers come up in locations, and if you guide them through this horrified town to their
Hmm.
whatever destination, you'll get a special perk card. And these special perk cards are really cool. You can play them anytime, and they can do cool things, bigger things,
Sure.
save the day sometimes. So that's that, all of that. And the monsters are different, and how you combine those monsters in each game also can make the game behave a little bit differently, make it more fresh. And it's just so simple. I just
Hmm.
really like to play it. I've played it with many people, different people. There's not many rules, and especially with it's a cooperative game. Even if the person has never played the game before, I can manage the whole monsters thing, for example, and they can just enjoy the game and not worry about, oh, how does this monster work. So I'll just explain this simply, and then I'll manage all the stuff. Yeah, that's
Yep.
horrified.
Yeah, this one is basically, at least the original is, uh, basically it's the board game version of Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, and that was one of my favorite movies when I was younger. So this one was
Hmm.
definitely an exciting one for me.
Yeah, and American Monsters is also a cool game. It's the same game basically, a little
Yeah,
bit different
just
board, but just the same game, different monsters. Now, American Monsters are either the rule book is not it's not so precise, and there's lots of questions about how some of the monsters work, because it's like the rulebook says this thing, and then you look at the monsters sheet and it says another thing. I'm like, okay, uh, what are we gonna do now? And they are a little bit more complex,
They are.
just
Yes.
probably too
Some of them
complex
are. Hmm.
for this kind of a game. And I always thought that I would have loved to have this combined edition, like same board or two-sided board or whatever, but you can mix and match the monsters from different cultures, whatever. That would have been cool, but I see
Mm,
that might be a balance issue that they could not do.
yeah, it'd be difficult because of how they activate.
Yeah. All right. That's
Oh
Horrified.
well.
I'm 24.
There you go.
Number 23 is so there's one planet that's really horrific. All the cataclysms and catastrophes are happening all the time, and we as people are greedy and trying to get as much as possible from the planet until it dies. Though it's not a dying planet, it's more of a living planet. My number
Oh, I
23.
see.
Yeah, but yeah. So this game is somewhat economic game, because you have the stock market going on, and you're basically want to get the most money.
Hmm.
And what I really like about this game, so first of all, it's a spiritual successor to Archipelago. All of the exploration, for example, I really like. Pulling out the tiles and then matching them with the landscape and going there. But in this game, like if people go in there, think about, oh, Archipelago, yeah, I want, well, like I want the same thing. No, it's a different game. The thing is that I really like the card mechanism where you play cards, they give you some abilities, and so it's also how the dice behave and what
Hmm.
cataclysm will be activated. Everything is kind of interconnected. And the other thing is that you will be building buildings. Sometimes you want to get resources because you want to get more money, want to win the game, but sometimes you need to get defensive buildings that will not give you anything except just defend you from the cataclysms. And they are constantly happening. The living planet means it once you did. Um, and you can manipulate those cataclysms and do bad for other people. And what I enjoy is that you have to constantly change your position. It's not
Hmm.
like I've built here, I'm gonna stay here the whole game, nothing's gonna happen, whatever, save space, Euro game. No, here, you go here, you exploit this mine as much as possible, then it's gonna get destroyed, and you have already built another one somewhere else. If you found a new spot to exploit, it's all about that. Very tactical decisions, and that's what I really like. The whole combination of different mechanisms here.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, this one has been less successful for me. Although I haven't tried it in a while. Maybe if I got it back out, I'd like it more. I just, mm, I don't
I
know.
understand. I understand. The first time I got it from the Kickstarter, the first time I played it, I was kind of disappointed. The second time I played
Mm,
it, I was like, okay. Like I went with another, like I said, I went with a mindset of, oh, archipelago like game. And then the
hmm.
second time I went with the mindset, okay, let's try it as a new game. Let's see how it works really. And then I realized, oh, it works that way. Nice. The third game, I already liked it. I was like, okay, really cool. And then so on. Like, so the more I played it, the more I understood what it is and what it needs to be. Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
All right.
Let's get to number 22. So my number 22, previously, this was a placeholder for many, many, many games. But and it kind of is in a sense, but I've stuck with the particular edition of escape room games. My number 22 is Unlock.
Ah.
So yeah, I like previously, as you remember, I always said that, okay, so it's a placeholder for escape room games because they are have games, have activities. I don't know if how can I say that this one is better than the other. You can kind of say it, but with some of the series like Exit series, some of the Exit series ones were better than Unlock, some of the other. But I'm picking Unlock specifically, and I'm sticking to that because the more I played Unlock, the more it was consistent in its puzzles, in its innovations, etc. But exit games, they became kind of mundane, kind of samey. It's as much as you can do without technology and just with paper cuts and whatever, and using the box itself and using, I don't know, uh, whatever else. And they did really cool stuff, and they still do that. I might try another exit game, but each time I play exit, I don't feel as in the theme. I the puzzles, some of them are cool, some are not. With Unlock, it's the same. Some of the scenarios are not good, but it's more consistent, and it
Hmm.
gives you the art, the world, the theme, combining the yellow, sorry, the red and the blue items. This kind of a thing that yeah, style. And they made quite a few innovations. I'm not going to spoil anything, but they made quite a few innovations. They have the app, and
Hmm.
I've seen really cool stuff done with this app within this game, small card game. Another thing is that when you've played this, you can give it to another person. They can play it again. You just put the cards in the order. That's it. You don't destroy
Sure.
anything. You don't cut. You don't bend or anything like that. So yeah, and so far I've enjoyed. There's also, like, for example, there was the game adventures where it was the pandemic scenario.
Hmm.
Then there was Mysterium scenario and Ticket to Ride scenario. Uh,
Okay.
I I left it at my friend's house because he wanted to play Ticket to Ride scenario with his wife, and so I have not played this one yet. I'm still telling him that give me back my copy so I can play it. But I played Mysterium scenario and I played Pandemic scenario. They were quite thematic. Like Exit
Hmm.
would have not done that. So Unlock series, if you are into cooperative game puzzle games and you want to play it with the whole family, it's the rules are there's almost no rules. There's a small tutorial deck that you play
Sure.
for like 10 minutes and then you understand the game and then go. It's such an easy game to get into.
Yeah, and I know you really enjoy these, and I'm there. This is the kind of game I'll play once every 2 years at this point. I don't know. I've kind of they've lost a bit of their shine for me. If somebody has one and says let's do it, I would say sure, fine, let's go. But it's not something I would seek out anymore.
Yeah, I understand. But with the unlock, yeah, I could see at some point the standards weren't the best, but still. Oh right. One more small thing about unlock. At first when it came out, so Americans, you had in US you had like all standards separately, and
Mm,
in Europe we had them as a bunch of three scenarios. And the cool part about that is that if you have a bunch of three scenarios, one of them will be dot and two of them will be cool, and you're like, okay, that's a cool box of scenarios. And if you buy each scenario separately and it's a dot, then you're like, okay, I'm not playing it again. So it's more it's better to get it in a batch. Yeah. Anyway,
it's better to make sure you pay for one that you don't want, so that you can get two good ones with it.
you'll never know until you try. All right, so my number
Okay.
21 is another lighter game. As you can see, more and more lighter games get into my list and higher on my list because it's easy to get out. It's easy to play with everyone, and it's easier to have fun without constantly looking at the rules and PGG forums, etc. My number 21 is about engine building, and it's engine building the game Furnace. So Furnace, as I said, is the engine building card game. It's all about that. So in Furnace, you have all of those cars. They produce stuff. They produce some resources, and you want to create a chain of reaction where you produce one resource into another, then another resource into money, and whoever has the most money in the game wins. And the other cool stuff is bidding.
Hmm.
You're gonna, if I can find it, probably. So you will be bidding with those tokens, and each one of you has 4, 3, 2, 1, and there's the upper part and the lower part of the card. The upper part works uh, as a compensation for those who didn't win the card, and the lower part goes you, and as a winner of the card, you get the card, and then you activate it during production, and you create a chain of production there. But the cool part is that you cannot place the same color or the same number on one card, and
Sure.
compensation of the upper part, if you didn't get the card, depends on your token. For example, if I put a token 3, you put a 4 there, you win a card, but I get the compensation 3 times. And that's where you need to think where and what you're bidding. It's the bidding phase is really, really cool. I like that a lot. And there are some groundbreaking superpowers that special powers that yeah, kind of everybody has. So for example, one of them is that they can place the disc somewhere with the same number that's already been there. For
Sure.
example, like it's breaking the whole idea of this bidding, but it works because somebody else has another cool ability, etc. So yeah, fairness really easygoing, quite thinky, crunchy when you do production. And I like to do there was alternative rule which I play as a main rule, where the way you draft the cards, like if you get a card, you have to place it on the like you can install it to the left or to the right or in between cards, but once you install it, you cannot change position of it, and you have to
Hmm.
activate the cards from left to right in production. It makes it a little bit more crunchy. It makes you think a little bit more about what cards you get. So yeah,
Okay.
it's better than just chaotic. Okay, activate this card and then that card and then that card and that card. It's not so as fun. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I enjoy Furnace. It's a good game with it works with most people. I found the expansion to be a little underwhelming, but it's okay. The solo variant is rather disappointing though. So this is
Hmm.
definitely one. And actually, I also find in general the two-player variant to be a little bit underwhelming. I think the game shines with three.
I don't mind two player.
I don't
Right.
mind it. It's just
It,
not.
it works
It doesn't. The game does not shine.
because there's no human behind bidding. It's just
It's
a
just
die.
it can just be a random bid, and that's not as much fun. So
Yeah. Anyway,
anyway,
that's fairness.
that is.
Let's go to number 20. My number 20 is a bigger game, more rules, though it was kind of streamlined. Kinda. Um it's a version 1.5
Uh oh.
and now they 2.0. Number 20, Kemet, Blood and
Oh.
Sand. Because you can never have blood without sand and without blood. Okay. That's I could see why they picked this name, but it it's not a great name. Kemet,
Okay.
Blood and Sand, whatever. It's like it's it just say some words. Just put the words next to Kemet so it becomes a new edition. Okay.
It is a new
Anyway,
edition.
so Kemet is all about, as you can see, it's a central board with the locations where you can build your pyramids. The pyramids give you access to the technology. I would call it technology. The tiles, and the tiles based on the pyramid's color and the pyramid's height can be very different. So some of the like the blue tiles are more of on the defensive side. The red tiles are more of the offensive. The black tiles are a little bit of both, but maybe more aggressive. And those tiles give you some extra abilities, extra cards. They give you access to the monsters, etc. So and it's all about combat. So this is not there's no turtling in this game. In this game, you constantly have to fight, attack, and win, because defensive win does not grant you points. You want to get to, I think, 9 or something like that points, and so you're trying to constantly take over other people's positions, because there are some temporary points and some mandatory but permanent points.
Hmm.
and everyone is like every territory is also 3 spaces away of each other. So that's why it's constantly a threat that you have surrounding you, and they attack you, you attack back. Take the spot over. Now they took the spot over. Now the third person came in, but now
Sure.
you put in your elephant and destroy them, and now you're trying to get the troops there, but you can only have certain amount. There's also limit to the troop. You have to be very tactical. So this game has a little bit that theme. uh yeah, all about battling. The combat where you compare cards as well as your initial combat value plus the cards like in Blood Rage, etc. It just works. And I don't like fighting games. I mean, like, I don't like huge conflict games, and this is conflict times 10. But for
There's
some
definitely
reason,
conflict.
yeah, but for some reason, if somebody attacks me or I am attacking somebody here, I don't feel as bad as, for example, with some of the games where you build up, and then you attack, and then somebody destroys your things, and okay, I I don't feel really satisfied. But here, as the attack is the winning condition, it kind of doesn't feel, it's more forced in a sense, and feels like, yeah, that's the game. There's no other strategy. You cannot turtle. So that's
That's true.
Kemet, blood and
Yeah,
sand.
I enjoy Kemet. This one's been successful to me. I do not love the way the board looks in this new version. I think the older board looked better. But
Yeah, artwork
other
wise,
than that, this one's pretty solid.
nice. All right, let's get to the next game. Number 19 is the one that you're not a fan of, but
Oh,
I am, with the restart of the new cycle,
oh,
and I still am, because looking back at my experience with this game, I had a lot of blast. I had a lot of fun. Um, so why shouldn't I rate it higher based on, oh,
okay.
some people say, oh, it's not, some alternatives were bad. Okay, some of the games of your favorite games that you play, sessions might be bad, might be a flop.
Mm,
Why don't you then throw the game in the trash can? No, you don't, because you had a lot of fun with the game. My number 19 is Time Stories,
mm-hmm.
and it really isn't as consistent in and let me show you the Revolution, the newer one. It isn't as consistent with the scenarios and how well they're made, but some of the scenarios people criticized, I enjoyed them. I don't know,
Okay.
like, I was okay with that. And the Halo project, what it does, so Time Story is all about you act as receptacles of the people in the like old times or whatever the other alternative timelines, and you're trying to find the solution. You don't know what it is. It's like they give you a brief mission report, but you don't really know what you're searching for. So you start roaming around, and there's this panorama of pictures or of a location, and then you go to those different cards. You look at them. So, oh, here's the dude holding a pouch of gold. I'm gonna talk to them, and then mm, they they attack me for no reason. But I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I just I don't want to
Pretty
spoil
much.
anything, but I don't want to spoil anything. But sometimes the cards are just the view. Sometimes they give you a hint, and it's all about solving the mystery. There's not many rules. It's all about that. So one thing that people got annoyed with eventually is that you have time, and if your time runs out, you have to reset like a Groundhog Day and start again. But now you have some information. So now you know I'm not going to go to the kitchen because the kitchen is no use for me anymore. I don't need that. Now I'm going to go to other locations and try to manage my time in a better way. And then you do those jumps. You do several Groundhog Days until you solve the mystery. And so the first scenarios were amazing. The very first scenario was amazing. Some of them were not as great, but still good. Now, Hadal Project, what it does, it basically reimagines the time travel aspect of time tokens. Now it has the crystals. And
Hmm.
while I played Time Stories with the Hadel project, I think I did only one run. That's it.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't have to restart, or maybe two, like at most, like, or maybe I got to a point where I didn't have to restart. So if you manage those crystals well, you can just go cruise through the game. And the Midnight Summer was okay scenario, but also cruise through the game.
Okay.
And now I have the Cavendish Manor, which is a horror themed scenario, which I'm really eager to play. I need to find people. Um,
All right.
no, there are several people who want to play it, but as this game takes several hours to play through the whole scenario, it's a bit harder. Now, I
Hmm.
like this new edition. I like this new cycle. I like this new uh, system of crystals instead of just time runs out, you go in, you go out. Okay, yeah, Time Stories
Well,
has
I'm
been
I'm glad you continue to enjoy this one. I probably won't try it again.
that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to.
I don't. That's the amazing thing. Whereas if somebody brought out one of the unlocked games and said, "Let's play this one," I'd probably say, "Okay." If somebody brought me Time Stories and said, "Let's play," I'd probably say, "Well, let's find something else."
I understand. Time Stories is like unlock can be an hour or hour and a half. So usually
Mhm.
we don't do it within an hour, but Time Stories is like 4 or 5 hours of play. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
it's it's a movie, it's a story, it's a book. I just go for it, I enjoy it. All right, let's get to number 18. My number 18, and it might be surprising for you, but when I played it, I was amazed. I thought of it yet again, a conflict game, but a conflict game that does so many things right that I don't feel like it's such a it's in your face. I'm gonna kill you now. There's a lot of other stuff going on. The back building, going collecting cards around the table in the Wonderland, and it's
Ah,
called number 18, Wonderlands War. And yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful war. Uh,
Wonderful War.
so look, this is such a cool game. All those chits that you collect, that they have some things, and sometimes how you pull them, it depends in which order you pull them. They can trigger some extra stuff. Lots of cards. It's very colorful. You have your own sheet of with the character who has special abilities, and you can unlock more abilities, and you can unlock this and that stuff. And you go around. I like the phase where you go around the table, collecting the cards, so you can
Hmm.
prepare for the war phase, and then you trying to get the majority in locations. It's not really war, it's more like a area majority control
Sure.
situation where you want to control the most, and then there's war phase where you pull out the chits. But that's why it's really cool. It's very Euro type of war. You pull out the chits and see who has the most strength and who busts or who not. It's not like I'm
Sure.
just gonna kill you with a knife. I love that. I really enjoyed this game. It's maybe it's the chits building or chips building game. Maybe that's the reason I really like it. But yeah,
Okay.
all of those different abilities and cards and stuff, and probably there's an expansion. And I was thinking about buying. There was a pledge manager for the expansion. I was thinking about buying expansion, buying those extra um, the plasticky, the pokery chips.
Yep. And those are quite nice.
Yeah, it's just doing that. It's cool. So my
Good.
number 18 is Wonderlands War. You want to say anything about it?
I enjoy Wonderlands War. I don't enjoy it as a two-player game, and that's
Mm.
sort of where that tends to be where lots of games like this tend to get played at two-player with me, and I don't know that it's as strong of a two-player game. But
Oh no, I don't think so.
other
Yeah.
than that, I enjoy it. I have the big fancy version, and it's one that. that I've had a lot of fun with. I
Okay.
do wish there were about 10 more different characters, though, that you could like player characters. I find that
Yeah.
the ones sort of there's four of them, I guess, or I don't remember how many, six. They all kind of feel very samey. I wish that they were a
Hmm.
little bit broader or had more interesting special powers. But the game's fine. I enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's get to number 17. My number 17 is another cooperative game. Also I would say a huge game. It has like how many? Like 20 or something scenarios, as I heard. A
Oh,
ton. And there's the rule book is huge, and it but
uh-oh.
but the theme, the art, it the Cuphead game, it has this
Mm-hmm.
kind of art, old Mickey Mouse type. Number 17 is Vagrant Song.
Ah.
So the Vagrant Song it's a boss battle game where you are on the train and there's the baddie and they have their kind of mechanism and you are trying to get to them. There are some events, tokens, etc. And you're just trying to give the baddie their humanity back.
You
You have your
are.
special ability and you can get lost and then you have to gain your humanity back to become a human or human-like person again. It's just the story. There's story. There's the campaign book. How it all works. It just feels really cool. This is another game. Like I either want a game um that is, let's say, easygoing, or I want
Mm-hmm.
a story game. Lately, I've been feeling that less hero games. Give me more story games. Give me more of this. You know, things I can read. I can be surprised by in a Euro
Sure.
game. Oh, I got 3 call instead of 2. Wow.
That's
I'm
very
so
exciting.
surprised. Yeah, it's so exciting. So here you could go through the story. It's not much you can say about the game. There's just things you need to discover, and I will probably discover a ton of more things there. But I played it just a bit,
Yeah.
uh, but already really really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I really like Vagrant Song. I like it. I think it does everything it does very well. My only complaint about it is that I wish that there were a way just to play one-off scenarios. And I know you can open them and play them, but you won't have some of the power ups it won't be quite as
yeah,
you probably won't be strong enough unless you figure out a way, and maybe there is a way just to sort of play some of the later scenarios as one-offs rather than playing through the 20 game campaign. I played through the 20 game campaign. I had a good time with it, but if I had somebody that just wanted to try one, I don't always want it to be that very first scenario. There's some that are more interesting than that, and that's my biggest complaint about it, is that there's a lot of the game you can't really get to unless you are willing to sit through a 20 game session.
yeah, yeah. That's fine. Anyway, let's get
Nothing
to
wrong with
number.
the game, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Just it's
It's me. Everything's wrong with me. Um,
that's right.
anyway, we have now, as I talked about, I want more story games. I want more lighter games, and then I'm like, okay, now let's go to the Euro game
Yes.
section. So my number 16 is a goodie and oldie. It's been in my top 10, but now it's fallen a bit. But I still really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite engine building games ever. Homesteaders.
Uh,
So Homesteaders doesn't look like it's a really exciting game,
it does not.
and there's always pictures of this old edition. Oh, here you go. It's my picture. Nice. What are the cows doing there? Okay. Um. So yeah. So this game, Homesteaders, is a Eurogame engine building game through and through. You're trying to bid for the contracts, and the contracts give you
Hmm.
opportunity to build buildings. Those buildings, you need to get resources, but they give you points at the end of the game. They might generate the resources or generate you worker spots where you put your workers and then generate stuff. You want to manage your money. The very cool part about that one is that you can so there is a market card. Maybe I can find, maybe not. Okay, whatever. But there's basically everybody has access to the market, and as long as you have trade chits, you can freely exchange resources and coins and money and manage your resources that way on the market, which I really like. You're not blocked out from the resources. If you play well, you get the trade chits and you get, for example, enough money. Just buy yourself that extra expensive resource. That's it. And bidding on those stuff, and if you don't bid, you go on the railroad development track, and then you get small bonus. But next time you didn't spend your money on the bidding, now you have a lot of money. Now maybe next round you'll overbid everybody, and so on. So I really enjoy the combination of all of that. It just resource trading, manipulation, getting the right buildings so they can benefit you even more, and then get to the last phase where it's a city phase, where I mean a phase, but the phase of the game, um, where you get the bigger buildings that have that give you lots of points. There's more of a scoring buildings than producing buildings. Yeah, that's it. Just building yourself up. It's just so much fun in this game.
Yeah, I have been less. I enjoy the game. I'm much less enamored with it than you are, though. I do wish it looked
That's fine.
better. I know it never
Yeah,
will because it's done. But I have not played with the newest expansion. Maybe that would change my mind significantly. Who knows? It's a fine game, but
the
not
new
one
beginning.
that I
Hmm.
would come back to as with any great level of excitement.
So the new beginning, it was rather small expansion. I wanted to have more,
Oh,
but it gave you extra buildings, which is cool, and it gave you the event track where each time, and you see all the events there face up, so you see that, and they're all good events. Like this round, whoever bid on the first bidding spot will also get extra workers, something like that. There's always like some extra things, or this round you can pay off your debt with less money, whatever. It's the event deck that makes it really cool, and you can a little bit
hmm.
mix and match the cards, so it will be different each time. Yeah,
Okay. Well, we'll see. I'm not. I don't know that I'm still very excited about it.
that's fine. That's
But
fine.
you definitely do enjoy this one, and
Yeah,
you always look forward to catching someone and getting them to to
my
join you with
clutches.
it.
Haha. My number 15 is yet another like a mystery game, detective style game, story game. It's Chronicles of Crime, and you can put in like they are kind of like separate games editions, but they're all the same. The 1900, then the all the expansions for Chronicles of Crime, and then the futuristic expansion and the Middle Ages expansion. So there are separate boxes. You buy them separately, but eventually it's the same game. Just maybe some extra mechanisms. Just a few. For example, there is no forensic science yet in Middle Ages, so
That's true.
they use the dog instead, and you have some visions, psychedelic visions, and etc. So Chronicles of Crime is all about a phone and scanning QR codes. No, but this is a mystery game. This is a detective game. A murder happened, or anything like if something was stolen, and then you go through the story. You're trying to find solution to that. You are going to different locations, finding the suspects, talking to them, and you do everything with the phone. For example, I scan uh, this girl with the phone. I wanna ask her about something, and let's say I'm gonna ask her about the item I found. So I scan the item while engage with her, and then she tells me or doesn't tell me about the item, or I scan another person for her, and she's like, "Okay, yeah, I know that person, yeah, blah 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 blah." Sometimes, depending if you find something or not, like for example, you didn't find anything about the affair, and then you go ask for the person, and that person doesn't tell you anything. They say no, nothing. But eventually, the app understands if you find something particular. You found a letter, let's say, yeah. But then you go back to the person, you ask them again about this thing, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, sorry, I lied." And I like how it can change. The answers can also change based on what you find. and you just go through it. You're trying to solve the crime. Yeah, it's great, and it has the different editions. It has the little bit of Stranger Things theme going on with one big
Hmm.
Red View something expansion. It has the Noir expansion. What's it else? I have everything. It has the mix of the 1400, 1900, and 2400, and
It's a
then
weird
all those
expansion.
separately as well. Yeah, I mean, like, there's like I have so many scenarios still to be
Sure.
played, and I like, ooh, so many, but I love it.
Yeah. I like this one. This one it works very well. I enjoy it. It can be a little bit frustrating at some points if you need something to happen. You know what you need to happen, but you don't quite know which box to check to get there. Like you have to figure out how to get this person to come to this area so that you can talk to them, and that can be a little frustrating. The sort of manipulation of I don't know which trigger is going to get this, but I know what needs to happen. That
Mm,
part can be frustrating.
mhm.
But everything else, the game is very easy to teach. There's not really any rules. It's just go and
Yeah,
try and figure it out. And I found this one to be quite enjoyable.
true, true. Yeah, that's cool. And it seems my videos are so exciting that we have a hobgoblin from Thailand.
We
Woo.
do. I think I
And
know that
Daniel,
hobgoblin
hello
from
everybody.
Thailand,
Yeah.
and Daniel from Croatia. So,
All right, so we're seeing all around the world. Now, my number 14 is a good oldie, a near and dear to my heart. It has fallen, but I've heard some rumors, not real rumors, there's quite official now, that a new edition is coming out probably next year, but it's coming to Kickstarter very soon. They told us the end of June. Number 14, Cyclades or Cyclades, however you want to pronounce that. That is all right. So, Cyclades is a game of battle yet again. So, I'm not a big, I'm not a big conflict game fan, but yet again, as with Kemet, as with Wonderlands War, there's a lot of those Euro mechanisms going on around. It's like most of the game is something else. It's not just just let's kill each other. And in this game, you are bidding on the gods. They give you different opportunities to get ships down, to get soldiers down, to get philosophers, etc. And definitely play with expansions. And you can go with the Titans. Titans makes the game different, but I like the Hades expansion where it gives you some modules and some. It gives you heroes. It gives you magical items. It gives you priestesses, so you can keep the monsters for longer. And then you can also like you bid on the stuff, and then you do all your stuff. So so this god gives you this that. Then you build a building. Then you hire a monster, and then you steal somebody else's gold with another monster, whatever, and then you put the giant kraken on the board and destroys all the ship. Now you move the ship, and it's all about management of your resources, which is money. So money is very precise. Money is very important in this game. You do everything with the money. It's economic game in a sense. So, and I like the expansions. I like all of this because they balance out. They give you extra gods. They give you like side gods. They give you uh,
Side gods.
yeah, yeah. They give you heroes with which you can also build metropolises. You want to get to 2 metropolises, then you win the game.
Sure.
Now, the new edition, as I heard, will change quite a few things
Hmm.
and will include the expansions like in a base box, like basically streamline it all and, kind of round it up. That's what I heard. I'm not sure
Okay.
how it will work exactly, but I'm waiting for the new edition. I'll most likely buy it, and maybe this new edition will encourage me to put it higher on the list. But it's
I guess we'll have to see.
I played it for many years, many years. I'm just maybe a little bit tired.
Oh,
Mm.
well, let's
But I
see what
mean,
the new one brings. I'll be excited. I mean, mine unfortunately was damaged, so I don't have this game right now. But I did enjoy it, and I'll look forward to getting the new edition in 4 to 5 years when it finally comes out.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, that was my number 14. Uh, my number 13, and Kyle, you have a fan.
I do have a fan. I'm so popular. Um,
But Kyle, what do you think about some cavemen and they go discover stuff and they look at the forest, they think about what's in the forest, let's go in the forest. Or they look at the mountains, they're like, what's in the mountains, let's go to the mountains.
it's probably a lion
Yeah.
or a
Leon.
wolf pack. Um,
What I usually get. So my number 13 is Paleo. And
sure.
what I talked about is basically the mechanism of Paleo is you have the cards, and each one of you has a pile of cards. I really like to play it with two players, let's say, and we um, do the back and happen. But and you pick up scenario. There are modules, so you combine different modules as one deck, and then you go through the deck. You have to win scenario by painting the mammoth on the wall, and you're trying to solve the cards in that way. And the cards, they have backs, and they're like you look at the first three cards on the back of your deck, and then you're like, okay, so this card says this card shows a forest, so I'm most likely gonna find a deer or a wood or something like that there, but sometimes it's a
Or
trap.
a wolf pack.
Yeah, there are some other cards with the modules. You get some winter cards, whatever. It's like there can be some special cards, and yeah, you just both choose, and then you reveal simultaneously, and then you decide what to do with the card. It's really easygoing. There's not many rules. There's not much text in the cards, so it's all really, really, I don't know, satisfying
It
to play this
is.
game. Just all of those different modules, more difficult, less difficult.
Yeah, I like this game a lot. I also think that two or even solo, but especially two is the best way to play this. If you play it with three, it can get a little unwieldy. And I think even the rule book itself suggests you not actually play it with four. Even though
Yeah,
it's odd because it's written as a 1 to 4 player game, but it's suggested strongly that you pretend that the four was not there. Um,
true, true.
I like it with its expansion. I like it without its
Expansion,
expansion.
yes, yes.
I I like it. I have some of the promo modules that I have. I don't think I've
Hmm,
actually played with the promo modules.
interesting.
There's one about birds. There was another. I don't know. Anyway, there's.
Hmm,
This is a good one. I like
I
this.
found it down. All right, so Paleo, great game.
Oh yeah, some of the
Let's.
modules are only available in German. That's probably why you have not heard of them.
Deutsch. Um, my number 12 is another story game
Okay.
and cooperative game. And there's a future game coming out that uses some of the mechanisms of that game. From it, the future game is called Freelancers from Flathead Games, but this game is all about pirates, and that's Forgotten Waters, number 12. So Forgotten Waters is a pirate themed a little bit of RPG like. It's a crossroads game, but it's a bit RPG like. You go through the various locations. There's like a flip book, and then you decide where you're going, and then you do the skill checks. You roll the dice and see what happens. Basically, and sometimes it's a story. You read the story, or let's say you have the app. It reads the story for you with the voiceovers and etc. So and yeah, you just go through it as an RPG like adventure, trying to solve the objective cards eventually
Yep.
and find whatever. Yeah, you go for it, and then there are encounters that are random, and that it's a crossroads system that each time those encounters might be different. So
Yeah.
with a different outcome, etc. Yeah, it's a great crossroads installment.
It is. And it works well solo. It works well with people. The only complaint about it is that it's a little on the long side, but I always have such a good time that I almost don't
Yeah,
notice. So
yeah, me too. So I'm like, okay, whatever. All right, this was Forgotten Waters. Now let's get back to the Euro Games arena and
hey,
some crunchy thoughts here. So I think we should continue with the theme of in water. We were on the ship above sea level, but now we're going under water cities.
uh, I think
Underwater
you need to
cities, my
stop
number
trying.
11.
Uh,
It's my list. I can do whatever I want. Um, so yeah, Underwater Cities is a worker placement game, card play game where you choose a spot, and then if you play the card of the same color as the spot, you get the extra actions, and you're trying to build up your board with those domes and the buildings, and you try to generate the most resources. It's quite economic, and yeah, eventually get the most points, get a ton of points from different stuff. Yeah, from connections, from connections, from this, from that, from that. It's a quite complex big Euro game. But once you start playing it, it's more streamlined than it seems to be.
yeah,
And I just enjoy the whole idea of building up. I mean, building up your board and playing the cards together with the worker spots. It's so satisfying. I just love it. And the expansion add some modules in the museum and the quick start thing where you don't you start from round two, but you already have something, which is great if you want a quick start. I like it, and you're a little bit different from everybody else. Yeah, just an amazing game.
yeah. I enjoy the game. I enjoy the expansion. I've only played with the full expansion using all the modules. I think only once or twice, but some of the pieces of it, like the quick start or something, you could add in to any game, even if you're not going to play with the museum piece. I like this game a lot. This was, one that I was really excited about when it came out, and I'm still just about as excited about it. It is difficult to store everything in the box. That's my complaint there. And although the rules are simple, it can get a little sprawling. It just takes up so much space because you'll
Yeah,
have, 60 cards sitting in front of you, which can be a lot to keep track of, which is a little daunting for newer players. Especially at a two-player count, though, this game is really good.
yeah, yeah. I can see that. But yeah, that's Underwater Cities. Let's get to number 10 now. The top 10. Let's get into this territory. Now, my number 10
Let's
is
go.
another Euro game, a game with the modules, where you combine the modules and then you just it's much easier game than it seems to be. Once you get a grasp of it, you can play it really fast. And combining those different modules and building up and getting like 1,352 points,
It's a
etc.
lot of
So
points.
yeah. It's not really that, but over exaggerating. But in first class is my number
A
10.
1,000 points in first class? I
Maybe
think
somebody can do
not.
that.
That's a lot
You're
longer than that.
building your train, um, and you build the both ways. So there's a small train going and getting bonuses, and there's a big train that you basically upgrade the wagons to they so they can give you uh, train cards, so they can give
Mhm.
you more points. And it's all about upgrading, chain reaction, moving forward all the time, choosing the right action cards from the center of the table, um, trying to get the most out of your situation. And there's a lot of free roam, how sometimes you can use coins to get some extras, and how you
Sure.
with the other side of the board. I mean, the left side where the small trains goes. How you
Oh,
activate
yeah.
those
Mhm.
stuff. It's all about the chain. How you create that. It's
That's right.
just so much fun. I played recently again, and it's fun. It works. It just works all the time.
And it's super fast. This game does not last long at all. This game is it's almost perfect length actually, and it works well. There is a lot of symbol to explain, and it can be a little frustrating in that part. But I have almost nothing to say negative about this game.
Yeah. Let's go to the next game.
All right.
My next game is something you really enjoyed and I really enjoyed. And I know this is a kind of like a one time use, but you can use it further as well after you have finished the game.
Okay. One
Um,
time use, but use it more.
yeah. It's that with some legacy games that you can
Oh,
use
I
them
see.
after you play them, but it's not the same great experience as playing for the legacy game. But my number 9 is Clank Legacy.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I really enjoy Clank Legacy. It's Clank. It's a deck building game. You can put you can put the Clank in here as well. Basically,
You
they're all
can.
the same. It's not such a difference. But what Clank Legacy does, it gives you the story. It gives you those surprise elements all the time. You're putting some stickers or doing this or opening that. It's just so much fun to do that. And your usual Clank, a deck building with light dungeon crawl type of thing. You just move around and try to collect the treasures. It's all of the fun that Clank has with legacy elements,
Sure.
adding to it, making it amazing. Clank Legacy, my number 9.
Yep, I had a great time with Clank Legacy. I do think it's probably the best of the Legacy games so far. I just had a lot of fun with it. Lots of interesting. It was very well written. I'm excited for the new version that's coming out someday in the long and far and distant future. But I'll enjoy that when it comes out too.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say I
Um,
probably prefer regular Clank to it to the Legacy version, just because although the Legacy was fun, that was an experience that I've kind of had, and if I'm going to go back to regular, I probably would go back to regular Clank. But I enjoy all four of the Clank sort of families of games.
true, true. Let's get to number 8. Number 8. Another great game, easygoing game. You can play it with many people. It has a unique theme. It has a unique style. It has engine building. I like engine building. Number 8 is
Okay.
Wingspan.
Ah.
So Wingspan, yeah, and I have this huge box. And is it worth it? Probably is. I don't know. There's so many expansions still coming. So yeah, yeah. But Wingspan has tons of expansions. But this one is just, you manipulate the birds, you play them down into those areas of grass or the field or the water area, and you eventually activate the birds. They give you some extras. You're trying to put you want to get to the most points. You want to get to the goals of each round. Just everything works. Everything is so smooth. It's beautiful. It's a card play. Uh, there is dice that you can draft the resources, or you can manipulate the stuff in a way that your own board generates you a lot of points, a lot of extra resources, a lot of this and that. Just a little bit more interaction. If you buy the expansions, you can mix and match, and then you have more different cards and abilities going on. There's a ton of cards, like huge amount of cards now. I mean,
Way too many cards.
yes. So some birds you might never see again. But yeah, it's just such a simple yet engaging game. I don't know. It's a perfect engine building game in a sense.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I look. My only complaint about this game is, like you already mentioned, there's so many cards. But I'll also keep buying them. So keep making more, and I will keep adding them to my huge stack. And I'll just, hope they eventually come out.
Yeah, true that. True that. All right, let's get to number seven. My number seven is another engine building game, which I really enjoy. And it has this race to the galaxy mechanism to it, where we choose which phases activate for everyone. Number seven is Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. Terraforming Mars is fine. I really enjoyed it, but on the other hand, I don't want to play it again. Now, when I played Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, I realized that this is the game for me. I like more of a card play. This focuses on that, and it gives you this choosing the which phases occur, and you are eventually building a ton of cards, and they kind of interact with each other a little bit. You're trying to manipulate the resources, manage your resources, and build up the Mars. It's like Terraforming Mars, but in a card game. So Terraforming Mars is a card game, but even more card game version. And I just like the idea of a leader action and following actions, etc. So yeah, just so much fun. Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition.
Yeah, I this was a good it's a good way it's a good sideways step from terraforming Mars. I don't actually find the games to be that different. I do find this game is somewhat faster, but over more plays I've found that it's less fast. I don't know, maybe it's just the people I'm playing with, but I like it. I like it with at least one of its expansions. Two of them were kind of mediocre, but there's one that was pretty good, that lets you upgrade the different phase cards. I can't ever remember which one it was because they had strange names. But I like this. I enjoy it. I still will go back to regular terraforming Mars if that's what people want. But what I do like is that there's not sort of this weird two action system in this game. It's just sort of everybody does stuff, and I think it works well for what it's trying to deliver.
True. Yeah. All right. Let's get to number six. My number six is another, let's say, bigger game. It's not as complicated, but it's huge on the table, and it has worker placement, and it's almost my favorite worker placement game. I mean, for the pure worker placement, it is my favorite worker placement game.
Is it Agricola?
No,
Oh, okay.
almost. It sounds almost the same. Empires, Age of Discovery, my number six.
Ah, okay.
Empire's Age of Discovery, or it was called Age of Empires at some point. But Empire's Age of Discovery is about, yeah, you have a
Oof.
ton of workers. There's area control, and first you put the workers onto those brackets, etc., and then you can generate new workers. You have the basic ones, but what I really like is that you have a merchant, you have a missionary, you have a soldier, and they behave differently. You have a captain. I like how they differentiate the workers themselves and how they behave in certain areas of the game board. And then you trying to control the areas in the new world,
Hmm.
getting a lot of points, and it just all of this manipulating your workers and getting the buildings so they can generate you some extra stuff. I really like the buildings. It's like engine building going on. You become better and better and better. You get the resources, which are like set collection, eh, with which you can get the money at the end of the game. It will be also your points. So you need to get your economy going. Everything is so precise. Everything is so tight in a sense that how you need to manage all of that, and at the same time, it all makes sense. I just love this game, Empire's Age of Discovery.
You do love this game, and I like the game a lot too. I don't love it as much as you do, but I it's a good game. It holds up well despite being a little bit old. It is not really a looker. Uh, I look at that board and I think, ooh, so it might be a harder sell for some people, but the game itself is still pretty solid.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to the next one. My number 5 is another. It's a worker placement game, but also a kind of deck building game. I mean, it's a hybrid game.
Okay.
Worker placement is not huge in this game, and deck building is not huge in this game. But you combine both together, and it's a great mechanism. Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Ah.
Lost Ruins of Arnak is quite thematic for a Euro game, and you're you're basically going to the different locations. I like to discover locations. Then you have this track, side track, the scientific track, or the discovery track that you go up on, and then you need to get the points, but you can get some assistance and extra stuff. You do a lot of card play. Some of the cards
Mm-hmm.
are instant cards, like free action cards. Some of them are not, that you have to use as your action. So and there's those artifacts which are powerful, but you need to pay for them. But the item cards, you don't have to pay each time you play it, but they are maybe less. And you're trying to create the efficient deck and discover the right expedition sites, and maybe let others discover those sites, and then deal with the monsters, and then you go there and use that site in the best way possible. So yeah, all of those combinations of things you do, and then you add expedition leaders, which adds a symmetry to the game. Everybody is different. They have small intricacies, small differences within each other, and how you play it kind of guides you of how you now need to strategize. It's a great game, and it's beautiful. It just works. It's logical.
Now, how do you like it if you start playing the game and then realize that the components are from a different game and they're mixed in and you don't know which version is which?
You remembered my story about
I
cruise.
remember just your sad story from the cruise. Uh, but I do like
Some
this
of the
game a
things were
lot.
missing. So there was
Oh,
two
that's what it was.
boxes. Yeah. So there was two boxes. So for some reason, somehow, some of the stuff with, like, the one box was showing that it needs to be with expansion. The other box was like a base game, but
Hmm.
components, idols, things were all mixed and matched between the box. I'm like, how is it possible? Somebody took both boxes and just randomized it. How is it
Shook the
possible?
pieces and dropped them in each box.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Tom Vassell came
unfortunate.
by and was like, and we told him that, and he's like, "How is it possible? I don't know. It's magic." Yeah, yeah. But yeah, yeah.
Well,
We by the way, we sorted it all out as much as we
that was
could.
kind of
So
you.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I like this game a lot. There's a lot to like here. I mean, it does have two other games that it gets compared to, and I like those two games as well. But this game is solid on its own. I do like it with its expansion. I think that adds a lot, and I'm looking forward to the new one whenever that ends up coming out.
True, true. The extra characters, something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, mechanic or and journal or something.
I don't know what they are. I just know that they're coming.
All right, let's get to number 4. My number 4 is another beautiful, gorgeous game. Yet again, an easygoing game, card play. It just those games are for me. My number 4, Abyss.
Oh,
Abyss. I love it. I just love it with the expansions, and both expansions, because
okay.
each expansion makes it better in a sense. You add some corruption, you add some extra things. Well, so in this game, so you are collecting those affiliates, whatever they are, the cards, while going exploring in the depths of the sea. You can find the monster, and with the expansion, there's leviathans that you fight, and it's a set collection game. You collect the stuff, then you exchange the stuff for the lords that need particular affiliates, and then you get the lords to give you abilities, but eventually the lords also can give you keys. And if you get 3 of the keys, you get to the location, and location gives you points at the end of the game. And the lords give you points at the end of the game, and affiliates give you points at the end of the game. And there's a bidding going on with the pearls. I like it's like a closed economic system with the pearls going back and forth between players. You bid with the pearls, but if somebody buys a card and somebody's turn, then the next card becomes more expensive. The Kraken expansion adds those black pearls that are corruption pearls, and you can buy stuff with them, but as long as you don't have any white pearls, and there's a limit on how many you can spend and etc. So there's both of the expansions working really well within the initial mechanisms of Abyss. So yeah, it's just such a beautiful game, such an easygoing game. Just I'm gonna go explore. Okay, turn over the card. So everybody who wants to buy the card, nobody. Okay, I don't want to buy it as well. Let's go. It's push your luck mechanism.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's so I still have not played with that second expansion. Every time you mention it, I always mention that I have it and have never played with it. The first expansion I'm stuck with because the original edition, there's nothing to differentiate the cards, so they're in, and so I'm always playing with that one just because I don't know how to take it back out again. Although I probably would always play with it anyway. But yeah, I enjoy Abyss a lot. I played it. There was a period I was playing a lot online on Board Game Arena, which is a good implementation. But either way, I think Abyss is a good solid game. It is a lot smaller than it looks. The box makes it look like it's going to be an epic conflict game. It is not, but what it tries to do and what it does very well.
Yeah, agree. All right, so let's get to number 3. Okay, my number 3 game I love. Because each time I play it, it's just amazing. I cannot get enough of
Summoner
that
Wars?
game. I cannot get enough of that game. I've had enough of Summer Wars.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how it is. But my number 3 is a game that I didn't want into my collection at all, and I got it. I loved it and love it since. Stockpile.
Ah.
So I realized the Stockpile is like I never thought the Stockpile would be so high on my list, but it's just each time. Look, each time I play it, it's amazing. With the expansion, of course, because the dice are essential. I'm like, how did it? Why? Why? They should have put the dice into the base game right away. Stupid.
Well, I think they
More
were
money.
trying to see if they could sell the base game first. Well, it's a pretty small company that was publishing its first game. I think they just tried to get it out there.
Yeah, but it was Kaiser anyway, so.
Yeah, from a very small company. I don't know that this was $1 million Kickstarter. But yeah, I mean, look, I like the dice too, but I think it's fine without them.
Yeah, I would never play without the dice. It's without the dice, it's just plain boring. The dice just make the game for me.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a stock market game where you are bidding on those stocks, and like how some cards are face down, some cards face up. It's how people manipulate those piles, and then you're trying to speculate. There will be always like there's 6 companies, and all the 6 companies might go down or up in stock price, and you know information partially. There's central information, part of the information. Other person knows part of the information. You're trying to speculate, trying to see what everybody else does, and buying those stock cards. And there's some bad cards, some manipulation cards as well. The expansion adds commodities and etc. Some little bit of that set collection going on. Little extra is always good. Bonds. I don't really play with bonds that much. But yeah, it's such a great game. I had so many great laughs. I had so much good time with this game. It just works. It's not so hard to learn. Just plain works.
It does.
Amazing game.
It's pretty solid. And there have been some expansions. I don't know if it's easy to find anymore. I just don't know, but because I of course have had it for since the beginning. But it's it was this company's first game. I don't know. I think they might be better known for the Reckoners now. But this one, it's a pretty solid game.
Yeah. All right.
And there's an app version you can play.
I played it. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
I like it more in person.
What? I'm shocked.
My number two is another amazing hybrid game that um it skyrocketed to my top thanks to the last expansion that really that solved some of the things that should have been there from the start. It added campaign, whatever the campaign, it added more factions. It made you start quicker and develop quicker. Number two, Scythe, with of
Sure.
course Rise of Fenris expansion, definitely.
Ah. Hmm.
You can go, I have all the expansions, but you can go without the air ships, whatever they are. I don't
The
care about
airships
those.
are definitely the weakest one, and I don't think you have all the expansions. I'm assuming you don't have the modular player board. Um,
Oh yeah, I don't.
uh,
I no, it's I don't count it as an expansion.
well, it is, but
Uh,
yeah.
think-
There were some dud expansions, but yeah, Fenris and also the first one, which was just those two extra factions,
yeah.
are
But
pretty
anyway,
good.
Scythe is all about yet again engine building. I like the idea of you manipulating your own board and how the actions work. Like you just choose one action, and you cannot choose the same action twice in a row. But you just choose one action. You do that. You can upgrade your board. You take stuff off the board, which will make the spot on that board or player board better.
Mhm.
And there is conflict going on there, but it's not a conflict game. You can fight, but you're never destroyed. In a sense, you're just pulled back to the start your starting position. Then you can spread out again. The resources, I like the idea of resources being on the board and not in your player board. That means that you cannot really hoard the resources too much because somebody is gonna come and steal it from you. You have
Sure.
to defend it. You have to stay there, and you're trying to then use the resources to build yourself up. And there's those encounter cards, like a little bit of that story element going on, or crossroads or something like that. It's you pull the card, see what happens. You have some choices to do. You want to get to there's this you get to a certain amount of stars, then you look at how many points everybody has, but the stars add to your points basically. Yeah, the mechs, how you can transport your workers with the mechs, etc. Yeah, it's just so well-rounded hybrid type game with a little bit of conflict and a lot of those cool, uh, juicy euro mechanisms. Scythe,
Yeah, I like
amazing.
Scythe is a game that I have played a ton of. And it's one that I have not played for a while, but I would be in the mood to play at really, almost any time. I think it's well designed, well implemented, and has a lot of staying power that it's just it doesn't really feel like anything else, and I think that's pretty exciting.
True. True.
I will say that the campaign part itself was underwhelming.
Hmm.
I
I
enjoy
like it.
all of the expansions it has, but I don't know that. I mean, I played through it twice. It's just not like I didn't give it a chance, but I just never found that it had any highs or lows. I found it was
Hmm.
kind of okay. Here, try this new expansion. Here, try this new expansion module. And that's a good way to learn them and experience them all. But
Yeah,
I think if I were to open it up and play it, I would just pick the ones I wanted.
I like the campaign for some reason, but maybe depends on the person.
Hmm?
Anyway, let's get to the final number one.
That is the final number.
Yeah, what could it be? What
I
game was
wonder.
not yet
Does it
mentioned
does
at
it
all?
involve any aliens?
Um, yeah, not from the franchise because it's it's not an IP game. Wink, wink. My number one,
Is
yes,
it large and sprawling and difficult to learn all the rules and
yes, it's
difficult to keep
Nemesis.
track of and difficult to
It's
teach?
Nemesis.
Oh, it's that one.
Look, despite all of that, and I really like to play it cooperative, but you can play it semi-co-op. Basically, everybody has their own secret agenda going on. I that's why are those old pictures all the time? Like the best pictures are old. Where's the nice pictures? Okay. Anyway, yes, I cannot find nice pictures, but something like that. Okay. Yeah, you can see the queen or the king. I don't know. Anyway, Nemesis is a game that creates stories. Each time I play it, we have something we talk about afterwards. And in a few days, we're like, oh, you remember how you ran away and then the king came up and then I was dragging you through the fire and you made some fart noises and then we all were killed because of that. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, yeah,
I don't
it's
remember that part.
you make noises when you move around. What
True.
it could be. I mean,
Okay.
you step silently and then you do something and the alien hears you. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, you move around the board and you discover the different rooms of this alien ship, or it's not alien ship, but it's a ship infested with aliens. And you have your own abilities. You have your own deck of cards and some specials, etc. And there's always not enough ammo, resources. You're trying to find the items. You're trying to activate the rooms. You're trying to get to the goals. You have certain goals, and if you play cooperatively, it's all common goals. If you play competitively, it's common goals, like it's cooperative, but you also have your own secret agenda, and it might or might not be related to my secret agenda. So we might either ruin each other or help each other. It depends. So it's not a trader. It's just your own agenda. You have to do some things on your own. You don't want the ship to go to Earth. I want it to go to Earth. So we'll see about that. Anyway, and then you go around. You find the aliens pop up. Usually it's smaller ones, but sometimes huge ones pop up, and then you
Mhm.
fight them. And it's a world. It's a story. It's a movie you go through each time you play it. Yes, it's huge. Yes, tons of rules. I always have to kind of read through the rule book, uh, or
Each
like
time.
yeah, I kind of rush through the rule book because now I know
Mhm.
most of the parts. I'm like, okay, just few things. But sometimes if you don't know exact answer, just go with your gut, how it should work.
Sure.
And it's just, yeah, each time I play with somebody, we always create a story that we later can share with each other or the others. And I just loved it. And I really like to play it as a two-play game as well because
Okay.
it's faster
Hmm.
turns, etc.
Yeah. So I really like Nemesis. I do say though that is a hulking behemoth of a game. It can be one of those games where you spend a lot longer setting it up and teaching it than the game actually takes to play because everybody could die in the first turn. It can be very random.
Then you reset. Then you reset and
And
play
yeah,
again.
and then you can just reset it. But it can be, I mean, it's definitely a lighter game than it looks. And I think you really have to approach it saying, look, we're going to have a fun adventure. It might
Yes.
not be, it might not be maximizing your points, and you just got to roll with the experience. And
Yes.
you have to play with people who are going to be able to play that kind of game. So, if you play it with your Eurogame friends, they might be disappointed that you spent an hour teaching the rules and then they got, wailed on by a queen alien.
Yeah.
But look, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's great fun. I just never look forward to teaching it. And it's one of the few games that I own that I've actually never taught to anyone. And and
Hmm.
that's that's
Luck.
kind of by design. I've always found someone else to do that portion of the experience.
What I do, like when I introduce to a new person, I play cooperative variants and then
Hmm.
I tell them some of the rules. For example, the bag management and when the alien
The bag
comes up
management,
and how you
yeah.
fight it, etc. I don't talk about that. I say
No,
when you
just run that
confront the
yourself.
alien, that's when I'm going to talk about it. Then we'll go through
Hmm.
it. It will be much easier to learn. So I gradually introduce them to rules as we play the game,
Hmm.
and it's okay. as long as they
Yeah,
know the basics. And
sure.
it's not much. I'm just, I'm going to explain you the basics in like 10, 15 minutes. Let's go in. And if you encounter something you don't know what to do it with, let's go through that then.
Sure.
Then we can start playing faster.
And if the queen alien comes out turn one, maybe you look at that token and just put it back in the bag and draw another one.
Yes. I had that
You have
situation.
a branching path of one universe where this occurred, and then another universe where it definitely did not. And
I was never a queen. Never. Now there's only a king.
Mhm. Anyway,
Okay. Anyway,
that's a
yeah.
good game. I like it. I actually think if I'm up to the task, I have some people around here that I think would really enjoy it. Candace, for example, she loves the sort of uh, Prospero Hall version of Alien, and this is so much better than that.
Hmm.
So I just have to work up the courage to open the box and teach it to somebody.
All right. So here we are. We're done.
We are
We managed to do everything.
100 games,
What's 100 games? Everything that's possible from
which we
my
won't
side.
do again until the fall when I do mine. Um,
Yeah. But it was fun, and you could
It
see
was.
the top 25 games are rather, you know, it's like, for example, if my top 100, you can say that it's not really a good game, but here I could sense that you were agreeing more with the
Yeah,
choices.
there were a couple of duds on your list, but that's
Yeah, it does, but you
that's
agree
okay.
that they are good games. It's just not for you.
I don't know that I agree that Time Stories is a very good game, but
Okay, time stories, but it's only one. Yeah.
very well.
Okay, so thank you everybody for watching. That was
Sure,
fun. We'll see
it
you in the
was.
next episode of
That was
Würfelcast.
fun.
Fun. Das ist fun.
You'll
That
have fun, damn it.
we'll see you in another episode of Würfelcast, and you see Kyle on Wednesdays. Sometimes
Yes,
not on
indeed.
Wednesdays, but you see it
Well,
Wednesday when
I
see.
always record it on Wednesday. Sometimes it finds itself posted the next day, but hey, it's there.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll go with the usual episodes of Würfelcast for now. Whatever the next theme is, we'll figure it out. Yeah, just
Hopefully,
join
before
us.
we record. All
Yeah.
right.
Thanks everybody. Thanks Daniel. Thanks Hobgoblin
All right.
and
Bye
all the other
bye.
creatures. Bye bye.